Hey there, friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here once again, and today I have another Genshin Impact video, but this one's going to be a bit different. I had to touch on the Genshin anniversary event backlash that's been blowing through the community, my thoughts from somebody who's never really played a gacha game before, and just the madness that's going on right now. It's unreal, and since I cover this game a bit on the channel, I figured I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it at least a little bit. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm very curious on everyone else's thoughts on the anniversary event, what they think MiHoYo could do better, and basically, are you quitting the game? Are you not going to be playing Genshin going forward? Are you part of the folks review bombing them? Any of that kind of good stuff? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm super interested in this subject. Anyway, let me jump into it and say that at first I was kind of on the side of MiHoYo when I first saw some of the rewards. Again, I've never played a gacha game before. I'm not used to the anniversary events being a big deal. A lot of other games that I play, they're not a huge thing, so I wasn't really prepared for the amount of backlash for them to get from just not having an anniversary event, which I thought was kind of crazy. As I've done a little bit more research, I've discovered that this is actually a huge thing, and some of the videos that I've watched on it, it kind of cleared up my perspective, because I understand now that the anniversary is not just about folks being greedy and wanting free rewards. It's just kind of a thank you for all the money spent, especially a game that's made as much money as Genshin Impact has. So I kind of get it on that regards. I still think players in general can be like, some of the backlash is a bit overblown, personally, from what I'm seeing. Like, if you haven't seen it, Genshin is getting review bombed on the App Store. They went from over a 4 rating to down under a 2 rating at various points. People are kind of coming back, but going back to the beginning, like I said, Genshin is a game that I've really enjoyed. I feel like a lot of times people think it's a full gacha game, where it's not really all the time. It's kind of half gacha, half open world exploration RPG, and because it kind of melds genres and we haven't seen a game like this before, I think that's where expectations aren't always in the best. Same thing, we don't have a lot of endgame in Genshin, which I feel like can contribute to some of this, because I've said this before with games like Destiny that I cover. At the end of the day, when boredom hits, players just go kind of a little bit crazy with the boredom, with the clapbacks, with being frustrated because there's not enough to do, and that leads to the frustration that we ultimately see in something like the Genshin Impact Anniversary. Now, the problem with that is lack of communication from MiHoYo. That is where 100% that is on MiHoYo, and I think has exacerbated a lot of this, because not only are they getting review bombed, so we've also seen them actually really crack down on the Genshin Impact Reddit, on the Genshin Impact Discord. We're seeing like a lot of censorship, which if people are being toxic, I fully understand. But it seems like even just more innocuous posts are getting deleted, are getting removed from those various platforms, and once you start doing that, the trolls, the people who are frustrated, who are upset, who may have already quit the game, will come out in full force. And that's what I think the company doesn't understand. And they haven't come out with a statement at all, which is why I feel like this has gotten to the point that it has, right? They haven't said, hey, we have more anniversary events in the future. Hey, we've got things planned. Hey, here is all we have planned for the anniversary. That's all you're getting, and here's our reasoning behind it. Anything like that would have probably satiated the fan base, at least for now, and given them a bit of understanding a bit of reasoning as to why this is happening. The problem is, the more they're silent, the more they keep with their posts on Twitter that are scheduled, that are just setting up future events. You can scroll through them. It's just nothing but hate, nothing but anger, nothing but frustration and memes. And the problem with that becomes there's no constructive communication now. We're not hearing from MiHoYo, people who are enjoying the game still. Now, if they log on to any of these various places to get information about the game, they're just going to see hate and backlash. And because of that, it's like, what are you supposed to do if you're a fan of the game? You're just bombarded by negativity all the time. And at this point, kind of understandably so, because MiHoYo's silence is actually deafening. And that's really where I feel like other game companies could learn from this and be like, okay, the things we need to do are, one, set expectations early and often, right? If this is how their anniversaries are going to be, for the fans of the game, the longtime gacha players should have known that for a long time. In my opinion, they should have known this is what it was going to be, no more, no less. Now, the other problem is not only setting those expectations early and often, but because of the way the events are going, like the current Moonchase event is very rewarding. I will give them that as far as like primo gems, as far as what you get from just playing the event. However, the big issue is now it's not the most exciting thing to do, and it's time gated. We're finally on the anniversary, the actual anniversary dates, and this is what I'm doing. Same thing I've been doing all year long, farming artifacts, farming talent materials, farming stuff that I've been farming the whole time. And the reason for that is there's no end game, there's no event that's really kind of keeps me coming back and, okay, I can play it 100 times and get rewards each and every time. No, there's nothing like that. And so because of that, that's why everyone's bored. There's not anything new and exciting to do. Now, this is going to happen oftentimes when you are late in a patch. We've seen this time and time again. Inazuma, when it first launched, was fantastic at 2.0. 2.1, when they had the new islands, is great. But the last 3 weeks of the patch are just not as much fun as the rest of it. And so that boredom coinciding with the anniversary is where they failed to plan well. Because everyone was expecting a lot to have a lot of fun during this anniversary event, and unfortunately they're just not. So it's a bad feeling when you don't want to even log on the actual anniversary of the game, because there's nothing to do, there's nothing exciting to take part in. And that's, I think, compounded a lot of the frustrations with people, and that I fully understand. I wish this game had more end game, had more content that wasn't just exploration. Now, at the end of the day, maybe it's not for everybody, the type of game, and what they've done so far has been very, very successful. So I understand not wanting to change the formula too much, but there's only so much time that you can put in doing all the exploration and the story stuff if you want to keep people coming back and getting new characters. Because at the end of the day, that's what MiHoYo wants. They want us to continue to wish on banners, and Kokumi is the other part of the problem. The least wished banner in all of Genshin history, from what we've seen. And you combined a banner that nobody wishes for, even though the 4 stars on the banner are phenomenal. I personally like Kokumi, but a lot of people don't. So you combine that with the fact that people are frustrated about the anniversary and there's nothing to do, there's no new content. Combine that with the fact that the trolls are out in force, review bombing, and there's angst in the community, and everyone's frustrated, so they're clapping back at each other, and you're censoring information on all these different platforms, which you're calling toxic, which a lot of it is not toxic. It's just a perfect storm for this backlash. And at the end of the day, what can MiHoYo do is they announced a live stream where they're going to show off 2.2 next week, but that's going to be too little too late for a lot of people, and it's not gonna work out as they expect unless they come out with a statement or some information before that's going to kind of calm people down and get the narrative back on the right path, because I feel like that's a big part that game companies don't take into account. Is you want to really keep the narrative on your side, because whether you're doing the right thing or not, fans are going to react based off of what they see, how they feel. And if you're not giving them a reason to be excited, if you're not giving them hope for the future, if you're not showing them why they should stick around the game, they might abandon it. The big content creators all quitting the game and or making videos like this talking about the anniversary is not good for the game either. And the focus has to return to the content, and in order to do that, there needs to be statements, there needs to be apologies, there needs to be acknowledgement of the frustration. Until that happens, this might get even worse. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. My name is JoPaWrites. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you all later.